Today we're talking about what do you say to a mover at the end of their first day. And what this has to do with is your retention strategies, some concepts and some things to think about and just know when you do this. So you've already done a ton of work to recruit, find, screen, and hire this individual. The most important thing now is not letting, a bad experience on the first day or first couple days or first week have them leave. So what you want to do is you want to tactfully, this is a scheduled event, is you want to just have what I call a reinforcement huddle before they leave at the end of their first day. And what that's going to look like is when you bring them in on day one, you start going and you say, hey, at the end of your first day today, before you leave, come find me. Don't leave the premise until you come talk to me first. We're just going to do a 5-minute chat and then I'll let you go. So what you did is you set the expectation in the morning or whatever time you get started with a new hire that, hey, come find me. Do not leave until you've come talk to me at the end of the day. And the reason you're going to do that is so one, you've already set the standard and expectation. And so if they don't do it, then that's on them, right? Shows low accountability. But two, you're making it a point that there's an important thing that happens at the end of the day. And it's a 5 to 10 minute conversation. It can literally be had standing out in the parking lot, leaning up against a truck. It's very casual. And all you're going to do is you're going to ask that new hire, so how'd your first day go? And this is the most important thing you can do at the end of the day with your new hire, because what's going to happen, whether you ask them that question or somebody else, it will be asked. If you start a new job, what happens when you go home to your spouse or your parents or whoever is at home where you live? They're going to ask you, how did it go? How was your first day of your new job? And then you're going to say what you think. And this is why first impressions are really important. So what we're doing as an employer is we're intercepting them, and we want to handle any issues, if there were any, before they get home. And if there weren't any issues, we just want to pour positive, because everything is about reinforcing their decision. You want to reinforce that that person chose the right company and the right job position. So when you're about to let them leave, you're sitting there and you just, hey, what'd you think about today? And smile and be kind of excited, like, hey, what'd you think? And you never know. I'll tell you, if you start doing this, you're going to hear good stuff, but you also will hear some bad stuff. And you'll hear if they're a little hesitant and they're kind of like, well, actually, it was good, but if it ever goes like that, well, everything was good, but whatever they say after the but is the issue. And that's really what's on their mind. And if they go home to their girlfriend or they go home to mom and dad or go home to their spouse, whatever, a roommate, they're going to be way more honest with them. They go home, if they had a bad day, they're going to go home, their wife's going to ask them how the day went, and the guy's going to be like, it sucked. Like, these people were so unorganized, they didn't know what they were doing. I stood around all day. Nobody trained me on what to do. Like, I ain't going back tomorrow. And just like that, you get ghosted and you try texting and calling that person, they don't respond, and you're like, what happened? Well, what happened was they went home and they talked about all the issues, and they kind of used their spouse or their family as a soundboard to vent. And you know what their family's going to do? Their family's going to be like, oh my gosh, they did what? They made you do what? They said that? They didn't train you? They're just going to intensify the whole situation. And they're going to be on the new hire side, meaning they're going to be like, oh, you better go find somewhere else to work. That doesn't sound like a very good company. Well, the truth is of the matter is you could have a good company, could have just had a bad day. Why it's really important, just either an owner or a manager intercepts that person at the end of the day and has that conversation and says, hey, how was your first day? And after you do that, let's say that it's good. Let's say, oh man, I had a great day, learned a lot. Todd and Jeff were the guys that I was, training with all day, and they were awesome. We had a lot of fun. Great, awesome. Hey, I just want you to know that we feel really good about you being a part of the team. We are super stoked about the decision that we made and extending you an offer. We want you here. You seem like you're one of us, and we're excited for your growth here. And then you can ask maybe one more thing, and you just say, hey, we've been doing stuff the same the same way for a long time, and we would love to hear if you thought there was something that we could do better. Is there a process or maybe a better system or just a better way of doing something that you saw today? And then just be quiet and listen. You will find that the best feedback you get are from new hires because they don't know your current system. They just know whether something is optimal or not. And so a lot of times they're going to give you super great feedback that you and your management staff would never even think about. And so you'll figure out like, oh, maybe we need to put this part of the training here in front of this piece because it chronologically makes more sense for the new guy, whatever. And that's pretty much the big objectives there at the end of their first day is intercept the candidate and or the new hire and just ask them how their first day went. See if they have any feedback on things that maybe we could do better as a company, and then make them feel good. Reinforce their decision, and then let them leave. It's a 5-minute chat. It's a really short conversation if everything was positive. If there was negative, then that conversation might be longer. Because what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to disarm and minimize and dissolve some of these issues that the new hire went through on day one. That's going to take tactfulness. It's going to take some soft skills. It's going to take asking the right questions. And ultimately, again, you've already put in a ton of the work to recruit them, find them, hire them, and get them started. It's really unfortunate when you have a new hire leave after their first day or after 3 days or after their first week because there's just so much effort you've put in, right? That's all we've got for today. Hopefully this was helpful. If you got some value, give us a comment in this video. Just let us know whether this was good or not, and also suggest a topic. We'd love to hear from you about what you want us to talk about weekly, and we take those into consideration. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off, and we'll see you next week. Peace.